Thank you for joining us for another segment of Q Sports Update. I'm JT Farabow alongside Jake Fowler. After a short break, Tyler Stinson will sit down with the Director of Broadcasting for a campus club called SportsLink to discuss how it has helped prepare him for life after college. After a long break due to COVID protocols, the Panthers women lacrosse team will travel to Campbell next Wednesday for its first Big South Conference matchup of the season. 34 of the players have been recognized as Millis Scholar athletes at HPU for their performance in the classroom. Also named to the Big South first team were Chloe LaFranc, Julie Vidal, Alex DePerno, and Morgan Hairston. Carson Gold was also recognized, earning all Big South second team honors. The men's lacrosse team looked to win their second straight game when they host Mercer this Saturday. Asher Nolting was named SoCon Offensive Player of the Week for his performance on April 3rd, and his 8 assists is a single-game record for HPU, breaking his own record of 7. This is Nolting's second SoCon honor this year. The Panthers sit at 3-5 on the season with a 2-0 record at home. Mercer entered this contest 4 wins and 5 losses, beating Air Force 15-13 their last time out. I believe it was the Denver Nuggets that won it. To pick up Aaron Gordon from the Magic, that's a very big, crucial move for the Nuggets to kind of get this franchise going in the way that they want to be going. Those are 2 guards, and I mean, the team needs more help on the offensive boards, and it shows whenever they're losing games like they did to Longwood. I feel like they kind of get a bit of a leeway in their Longwood loss because it was the last regular season game. They had just blown them out the night before, and they had already locked up conference first seed and had won the conference outright for the regular season. So I feel like that game is a bit of leeway. The Panthers, if you've watched them this season, they're always propelled by either Skylar Curran or Jensen Edwards. If either one of those girls have an off game, it's closed curtains for the Panthers. Just go ahead and call it quits. But like I said, Skylar Curran is the X factor for this Panthers team. The amount of reliance that they have on the three-point shot, it can kind of be scary at times if you look and see, what if they don't have a good game from outside the arc? They don't really have the inside presence to back it up, and I feel like that's something that could hurt them going into this tournament. Today, the Panthers are looking to improve to 8-0 in Big South play, their best start to a season in the program's history. Kennedy Colbreth for Longwood. She was last week's Big South Offensive Player of the Week. She has had 1 goal and 4 assists across 8 games, and she's definitely someone to keep an eye out on from the Lancers. As for the Panthers, the key player to watch is Sam Gerhardt, who has 7 goals and 4 assists in just 8 games, which is outstanding. Any result from the Blue Hose would be a bit of a surprise, but it would be very much so needed for their season and for any chance at postseason play. The Panthers, on the other hand, look to continue their undefeated start to this season and continue and hopefully push towards 8-0 this season. I'm not surprised to see Coach Fontaine name such a strong lineup. She's really talked about how she's pushing to finish this season undefeated. Again, they've currently played 7 games in conference. They've won all 7 of them. And with a lineup like this, it proves that they're not finished until they've gone completely undefeated in the conference. Hutchinson in front of her, even though she was cutting and turning, creating space, doing a very good job to be crafty with the ball. But Owen did a good job to slow her down and not let her get a shot off. Yeah, the Panthers very, very glad to take that 1-goal lead here. An excellent cross from DePerno. We know she's got that in her bag, and of course, like you said, who else than to turn it in other than Sam Gerhardt? That's now her 8th goal on the season, and in just 9 games as well, so very impressive. Yeah, this was an excellent matchup this afternoon in Vert Stadium. Presbyterian did very well from the go to get up 1-0, put the pressure on the Panthers, and make the Panthers have to fight their way back into this game. Doesn't matter that it's in an own goal, it's in the back of the net for the Panthers, and they are probably elated to have that 2-goal cushion now. Nearly put the game to bed. We spoke to Coach Fontaine before the game, and a big focus of hers is keeping the ball and really controlling the play from the get-go. And as you can see, from kickoff, the Panthers have had the ball, and they're content with passing it around the back and trying to work it up the field and make something out of nothing. Sam Gerhardt has been an excellent player for the Panthers all season, and it really showed today with her hat trick. 2-headed goals as well. She's a player of sheer quality, and she makes such a difference in this Panthers side, even as a sophomore. Honestly, other results probably aren't in the forefront of the Lancers' minds. What is probably in the forefront of their minds is finishing this game off. They've had a couple of opportunities on the Panthers, and they've defended fairly well for the first half of this matchup. So they'll probably look to come out the same way that they started, put the pressure on the Panthers, take advantage of the opportunities that they have in front of goal, and hopefully not let the Panthers do the same in front of their goal. Really, for Presbyterian side, I bet it was a bit more of the same. They've done a good job at doing the things that they're supposed to be doing those things right. They've pressed the ball high, won the ball off the Panthers a couple times in the Panthers' defensive third, and they've defended well at times with their goal conceding maybe as an own goal. But for the Panthers, on the other hand, they need a little more offensive flair. They need to get the ball on frame more often, and they need to get the ball out of the back. Can't be as lackadaisical with it in the back as they were in the first half. First, for Presbyterian, we've highlighted Morgan Hutchison, who scored 2 goals on 14 shots this season. The Blue Hose are really going to need her to step up and be proficient in front of goal if they want to break down this back line of the Panthers. That being said, the Panthers player to watch is Sam Gerhardt. Gerhardt has 5 goals and 3 assists in 7 games and has 3 game-winning goals scored this season. That's right. All that the Panthers have left this season is next Wednesday at home against Longwood, and then on April 10th, the following Saturday, against USC Upstate. Both at home, and the Panthers play very well, obviously, on the road, but it's different when you're in your home stadium with your fans surrounding you, so the Panthers will hope to ultimately finish this season undefeated. Yeah, that's a great goal, very much so needed for the Panthers, and it really gets them right back in this game with 20 minutes left in this first half. That's right, Angelo. We spoke to Coach Fontaine before the game, and a big focus of hers is keeping the ball and really controlling the play from the get-go. And as you can see, from kickoff, the Panthers have had the ball, and they're content with passing it around the back and trying to work it up the field and make something out of nothing. Brilliant! Sam Gerhardt puts her head on it, puts the Panthers up 2-1. Gerhardt now with her 8th goal of the season. Crucial in this matchup to see the Panthers go 2-1 up after falling 1-0 down very early in this game. Yeah, Presbyterian do a good job to get on the score sheet first. They put the pressure on the Panthers right away, hit the crossbar from an early shot, got a goal from a corner. It was Kristen Bain's goal off of a Corey Lawrence assist, and then the Panthers had to respond quickly and get themselves back in it eventually. Yeah, I feel like it's a rough one to take there for Hairston and the Panthers defense, but to only concede 1 goal so far this season, and that just being the second one over 7 games, hopefully it's one that they can kind of push to the back of their minds and move on from. Yep. I had the pleasure of sitting down with HPU women's soccer head coach Brandy Fontaine to reflect on this season and catch a preview of their upcoming match against Presbyterian on Senior Day.
Today, we should be in majority of possession of the ball today. Presbyterian's actually coming off of a game. They played not last night, but Thursday night. They're going to be a little bit more tired, and we want to take advantage of that. We really want to make sure that, like I said, we're creating things and put them under pressure right away so that we can try to control the game. If we do that, I think we'll be okay.
After finishing last season with a record of 8-0-2 in Big South play, the Panthers returned this season with their standards set high.
I guess we always thought there was a possibility we'd be here. Last year, we went undefeated. Now it's just about riding that momentum in these games. It's right now with only playing 1 a week sometimes. I mean, this week we have 3 games this week, but we've been playing mostly 1 game a week. That's been the hardest part, is how do we keep that momentum going. They have goals that they've set for themselves that we've set as a group. it's on our board in our locker room, and only we talk about those goals. And so they have something they're striving for, and they're all on the same mission, and they have things they want to accomplish as a group, and everybody's bought into that.
With the regular season title already locked in and a possible bid to the NCAA tournament in sight, finishing back-to-back seasons undefeated in the Big South would be a fantastic feat for Coach Fontaine. However, her focus is making sure she keeps her side locked in, no matter the obstacles they may face.
Especially coming off of last season and the unfortunate ending. I mean, to be in control of a game that you don't end up, winning was really hard for them. And I think that's been a driving factor ever since for them. And we're trying to find as many of the things that we can control. And what we can control is, what we're doing out on the field. We can't control everything away from the field and the guidelines we have to follow and all that. But we can control all those things. And I think that's what puts us at another level of being able to accomplish what we want to accomplish.
This has been JT Farabow with Q Sports Update. With 2020 gone, Coach John Blake and Ledford men's soccer team have turned their sights to a character-defining 2021.
We really only have 2 weeks to get ready and prepared. We started Monday, we scrimmage next week, and then a week from today we play.
This season, which started January 11th, is set to be very different from their typical August start. Very different for many reasons.
There's a lot of uncertainty in these kids' minds. Are we going to play this week? Are we going to play next week? Is there going to be a season? We're going to have to face a lot of things that teenagers shouldn't have to face.
Due to said uncertainties, it's key to learn as you go.
You put them in the fire, and then you stop and you make sure they understand it's okay to make mistakes.
Focusing on what you can control is one of the things Coach Blake is teaching his players, helping them to both learn and grow.
So the COVID aspects, we can't control that. Our boys know they can't control that, but the one things we can't control is how we come in and train.
Resilience is what's defining Ledford soccer, not the difficult season that lies in their wake.
We need to teach them not to fear the mistakes and embrace and lean into the challenge. We're going to make a lot of mistakes. We're going to look bad at times from the outside, but the mistakes are going to make us better.
This has been JT Farabow with Q Sports Update. I caught up with High Point men's basketball head coach Tubby Smith after his Big South Media Day to catch a glimpse of this upcoming season.
I'm excited that we have most of the players back that played most of the minutes, and that's huge for us. Even though we're still going to be very young, we did sign 4 freshmen.
The young team finished 6-12 in conference play last season and has high hopes of improving under Coach Smith this season.
So we're going to try to play more up-tempo, probably try to extend our defense more, press more, because we feel like we have better athletes right now.
With a developing play style and highly talented athletes, HPU basketball has something in store this season, including some freshmen that may catch your eye.
The player that's looked the best as far as the freshmen are concerned is Emil Flowers. He's a local player who I think is going to be an outstanding player in this league.
Due to the ongoing pandemic, this basketball season is expected to be far different from what the Panthers are used to, and some question marks still loom before the season.
Well, we've already had to cancel 5 games, so we've gone from we played 30-some games last year. We're already down to 25, and we're hoping that we can get the season in.
HPU's 2020 season begins on the road against Davidson, taking on the Wildcats on November 25th at 7 p.m. For Q Sports Update, this has been JT Farabow. COVID-19 has impacted everyone in some way, so I sat down with Christian Heimal, the general manager of the High Point Rockers, to learn more about how they've kept downtown rocking with no baseball this season.
Given this pandemic, we've been very different. It started out with a lot of us doing community effort stuff, raising funds for different organizations, whatever we could do to just put smiles on people's faces.
Since the pandemic started, the High Point Rockers have become a crucial partner of downtown High Point.
It's forced us to really instill the mindset and the mission of community first.
Being classified as a nonprofit means the Rockers are able to give back to the local community in a much more meaningful way.
What would have been opening day back in April, we donated over 1,200 meals to first responders and to frontline medical workers. The very next week we hosted a food drive that collected over 8,000 items for the Salvation Army. In the month of May, we did a t-shirt campaign. Our Safe at Home t-shirts raised almost $3,000 for the United Way of High Point.
The Rockers organization have donated thousands of backpacks to local kids in need, provided meals for frontline medical workers and first responders, and have raised thousands of dollars for local charities.
What we are doing here is creating an atmosphere and creating a base for the city of High Point to be able to help its citizens and to be able to grow its city.
Highmall and the Rockers hope that what they're doing inspires others in the High Point area to give back and do their part to make a difference in the local community. This has been JT Farabow with Q Sports Update.
Well, I mean, I didn't really expect to have a season, to be honest. Just sort of taking it day by day. Whatever opportunity I was given, I just wanted to take advantage of it, play as much as possible. Because, I mean, I'm a senior, so didn't really know how much time I had left. But I wanted to make the most of it. I lost my starting spot. That's been my biggest challenge, is like pushing myself to get better, not getting down on myself, but also pushing my teammates to get better and like be better as a team. I mean, I was a little frustrated at first because, you know, you're a senior, you feel a little entitled to a lot of things, but you know, you kind of just have to take a step back and approach it as, well, it's what's best for the team, and whatever's best for the team, I'm going to do. So if that means I have to play in a different position or not play, it's kind of whatever coach wants me to do. Coach Blake's been really good about pushing me. He's like, you're in a rough spot because you have 3 legitimate all-region, all-state players in front of you in your position. So you're gonna struggle to find time and minutes. Like, we're in a rotational rut trying to find where I can put you. Pushing me to like find what I need to do, and teammates and everything are constantly pushing me like to get better.
Over the summer, we used to have Zoom calls before the season started. And I remember then I used to be really doubtful about our season. But no matter what, Coach Blake would always talk about our team like we were already having a season, we were already playing. He was already getting us in that mentality that we were ready to play. My teammates were already super excited. They wanted to go out every single week, every single day, go practice together, go play in the summer, in the cold, it didn't matter. And honestly, that really motivated me to start, you know, taking this a little more serious, even if we didn't have a season. Being a senior, I was really looking to be a leader this year. I've never really expected to be like in the mentality of a leader, but then, you know, 3 years go by and all of a sudden you're a senior and you're the top dog that everybody's looking up to. And slowly I had to kind of get used to kind of being louder, kind of being meaner, kind of being, you know, a leader in general. You know, it's kind of difficult. I've always been really quiet with my team. I've always let my team go how it wants, but now I kind of have to direct my team. As a kid, I was always a nervous guy. You know, playing soccer, I was always super nervous. Before your junior year, before every game, I had to be super nervous. And now this year, I kind of forced myself to mature and be like, you know, life's short. I didn't even think I was gonna have a season this year. So I kind of made myself appreciate what I had and decided that I was gonna help other people, you know, appreciate what they had too. It really, really hit me after the first practice because I was thinking back and I realized there's no more summer workouts. So after that, it doesn't matter if we're running, playing, film, practice, indoor games. I love every single second of it. I try to tell my teammates to appreciate every single moment you have, because once you start to realize it just starts to fly by. Taking a step back and realizing that the season isn't normal, you know, we only have a couple games, 13, something like that. Once you realize that these couple games are the last ones, you really start to get humbled and realize you have to take every single moment and you have to make the most of what you have. Whenever I'm playing, like if I'm in a little rut, if I made a mistake and I'm getting real down on myself, you just have to think, so what, this could be my last game ever. That's why every single moment you have to give 110% no matter what, even if you made a mistake, just get your head up. I feel like our team is a lot different from other years. This year, because of COVID, we were so so happy to have a season. We didn't worry about not getting the goals, not bringing out the balls. We just wanted to play. And then the lower classmen just took after us, and we just all became one big team. Doesn't matter who it is, whoever it is, go get the goal. Whoever it is, go get the ball. But this year, we really are just the closest team I've ever seen. Like seniors to freshmen, the sophomores and juniors, you could barely even tell the difference. Like, all of us are just one big family.
Panthers on three! 1, 2, 3, Panthers!
The life experiences and aspirations of black athletes on High Point University's campus many times are unknown to the public population. So we got some players from the men's basketball team to come and discuss their experiences over a game of pig.
All right, guys, we're in the Miller Center with High Point University men's basketball stars to kind of get a taste of what it's like on the campus of High Point University. What are we going to be doing today, John Luke?
Well, we're going to be playing a game of pig. Start out, get everybody comfortable, and plus see their skill and see who's the worst on the High Point basketball team. So, who's ready to get exposed?
Let's get to it, man.
All right, let's go. Let's get it done.
All right, Manny? Yeah. That's a P.
Well, after basketball, obviously the goal is to play professionally somewhere, whether that be in NBA, overseas, anywhere. As far as post-basketball, my career, I like to try something with computer science. I know that's pretty hard, but I know it's like a growing need for that in the world, and it's not a field that's very diverse as of right now, so just trying to get into that.
I mean, for me, after I graduate and stuff, it's either I play professional overseas, or after that I can go into housing, because real estate is something that will never go out of business. That is one business that will never go out of business. Coming from where I'm coming from, Lagos, Nigeria, housing is very, very big problem. So if you can provide housing for people, you can make so much money, because people always looking for where to live. So you can make money from that, and you can pass on to your kids. So just generation wealth.
I mean, right now I'm majoring in entrepreneurship. I don't really know a set thing that I want to do, but I know I want to work on my own time. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be just in a business or creating my own product or something like that. Something that I can do on my own schedule.
Okay, all right. What is this? What's this disrespect between teammates? Oh, shoot! Ooh, boy.
Obviously, it's not easy to play basketball at the Division I level. It takes a lot of commitment, work ethic. How would you kind of describe what it took for you to get here?
I mean, it's just a commitment to yourself every day, if you want to pursue something, obviously the main person that's going to have to drive you to get to that point is yourself. So just making sure you do something productive for the lifestyle you want to live every day is important. Recruiting is up and down, and especially with the pandemic now, recruiting is 10 times harder than we had it in high school. Making sure you're ready whenever your time is, you never know who's watching, and just making sure you prepare yourself for the spotlight every game and every workout you do.
No. Boys, I got another question for you. We're all ultimately people at the end of the day. How do you continue to be yourself no matter really what happens on the campus and just in life in general?
I mean, you just gotta find your identity as an individual, and just never change from it. Especially just remember the morals you grew up with, because because you know, good morals will take you a long way. Just live in the moment. Like when you live in the moment and not worry about the future, nothing, you stay to yourself. You know, you don't really stress about a lot of stuff.
It's important, especially in this generation where like everything's recorded, and like everything's social media, this and that. It's just not worrying so much about what other people think or whatever people say or what makes other people happy, but just do whatever you do to make yourself happy and stay true to yourself. Like John said, stick with your identity that you've had your whole life. I think it's important.
Oh shoot! Oh he out! Oh he out! When I came out, everybody was all excited, everybody was all happy and all that stuff. But after like freshman year, as some people treat you different due to the fact that they were like, oh my gosh, you go to high point, oh you bougie, oh you rich, oh you this, that, and third. And it was almost like, you know, I was getting asked questions that nobody ever asked before. Just because people thought, you know, oh, all of a sudden you changed. Did you all feel that way? Or did you all get a similar type of reaction when you all first came to High Point?
Yeah, I definitely think I got the same reaction from like my peers and people back home. But for some reason, I guess it's just hard for them to understand like the school, just because we go to the school, don't mean the school makes us, you feel me? Like we're the same person that we was coming into the school, coming out. It's just now that we're in a different setting, the school is giving us more tools to be successful. But that doesn't mean that changes us as far as our character and personality.
Did you all experience the same thing?
Yeah, I did. Mine came more from like family though, cause you know, like people I grew up with. Cause you know, not saying some of my views changed, but like I got more education on some things. And you know, I go back, we'll talk about it. They'd be like, ah, you around a whole bunch of this and a whole bunch of that, and I just be telling them like, all my knowledge I get is from me. You know what I'm saying? Like ain't nobody influencing me for nothing. You know, I just got a different perspective. I try and see all perspectives of things. You know, it didn't rub off right on some people. But I mean, it's still love though. At the end of the day, it's still love.
Like for me, if I didn't have scholarship, I won't lie to you, I won't afford it. I won't afford to come to High Point. So like, I mean, like kind of like I know where I'm coming from, you know. So I'm kind of grateful for the opportunity and stuff. So.
I honestly think it's just a stereotype, really. Like people just think like because you're a black student, you go to an all-white school, like you'll be influenced by the things at that school. So it's just, I don't think it's really anything like that honestly switches you up or nothing. It's just like the stereotype. Like people consume like, oh, he go to college, of course he gonna change, you know what I'm saying?
Do a layup, get some momentum in. Oh, there we go. There we go. Reverse. Oh, that's it. That's it. That's the game. And our champion, the one and only, Brian Randleman.
A win is a win, no matter how ugly it is. I knew my competition coming into it. I knew John was going to be out first. I knew Manny coming last. I knew John Lou only had so much energy. Don't worry about JT, you know, see what happens.
I just have one more question for you guys. What's one thing that maybe we didn't talk about today that you feel is just kind of important to get out there and share with, you know, people that don't see things the way you guys see things?
I don't really have a question. I'll just have a statement like,
yeah,
people out there just have an open mind to what other people are going through, you know, how they came up, you know, their thoughts, you know, their actions. Just don't be so one-minded, you know what I mean? Not saying you gotta agree with everybody, but just be open to conversation and not confrontation.
All right, well, as you can see, I suck at Pig, but we had a great time. I appreciate you all coming out and, you know, giving your thoughts and input, you know, on this really pressing matter. You know, I really like the insight that y'all gave. So yeah, this has been Jean-Luc Welch, JT Farabow, and we will see you all next time.